Hey guys, it's Brett with another UnTech video. This one coming by recommendation or request, I should say. Another example video, kind of a step-by-step tutorial on how to use Data Miner. Again, this is sort of recorded for the least technical data scraper who really needs a more step-by-step tutorial, not one that goes from load the program and load a recipe, but one that needs to create a recipe or can't find one that's out there currently. So this one goes out to all the doctor recruiters or people who want to build some marketing lists for doctors. We're going to use ZocDoc as our example here today. So here we just have ZocDoc loaded up. I'm not even logged in. Just looking at doctors in the New York City area. If you scroll down, you can see we have multiple pages. So we're going to use pagination here to get as much as we can. So really simple. We're going to load up Data Miner. Click on the new recipe. Now, if I wanted, I could look at public recipe. There actually doesn't seem to be any for this page that I see. So, no bookmarks, and I don't have a recipe. So let's create a new one. So we click the create new recipe. Again, between the two different page styles, we don't want all the details extracted in one row. So list page is going to be what we need. And the first thing we do is define the rows. Now we're going to click find, and we're going to try to tell it what a row is. Now I could try to get that whole row, but really what we want is this information right here. So I'm going to hit the shift key. It's going to mark it with that yellow jagged box or yellow broken line or whatever you want to call it. And now it's going to give me some options that I could select in terms of the element class as a div class, which we'll give it a try, right? A little trial and error here. Clearly not what we want. Let's untick that. Let's try this one, which is the info container. This one looks about what we want. It seems like it's getting all the boxes down to the bottom. And if that's the information we want and we don't care about the times that they're available in the next 3 days, it's perfect. We're going to click confirm. And it gets 11 rows, which I'm not going to count it, but I'm assuming that looks about right. The next thing we're going to do is figure out what columns we want. So we're going to click on the column box, and we're going to name this column. We're going to call it name. And we want a text. That's all that's really here, so that's pretty simple. We're going to click find again and see if we can hover and find the name of the doctor. Here we go. We're going to hit the shift key. Our broken line comes up indicating that it's identified that, but only on one of our columns, right? Or one of our predefined green boxes. We want them all. So it's going to give us a couple of options. An A tag, which gets it, but those purple dots, I don't know what else this gets. Doesn't look quite right to me. So let's try these two. This one looks right. It's getting their name. Looks good to me. But for the hell of it, let's try the second one, chprof link. Okay, that also looks right. I'm not actually quite sure which one it is. Let's go through a trial and error phase. So we're gonna start with the first one and click OK or confirm at the bottom. And let me click this I next to the 11, showing it did get 11 rows. Looks pretty good to me. Let's try again. This time let's go to the second one. Again, we get 11 rows. I can't detect a difference. I don't know if you guys have at home, but they both look right. So let's just go with it. We'll see if we get course correct. I'm going to do the same thing at another column. Let's call this one type. And let's select the type. This time it gives us 2, SG title. The div tag, which no doesn't work, and under the element class, ch row prof row specialty. Let's try that one. Looks right. Let's try the second one. Again, they both look pretty spot on. So I don't really know the difference. I'm just going to pick the first one. I'm going to hit confirm. We can go through a whole test, but are they all primary care doctors? They are. So looks quite right. If for some reason something goes wrong later, I might look back to that. And let's call this address. and let's get their address. So here we go. Let's click on, make sure the yellow box is highlighted throughout all of them. Hit the shift key, and wouldn't you know it, two options: info and row address. What does info give us? Okay, info will give us both the address and what looks like a review, which we don't want. This one gives us just the address. Looks pretty good. Let's go with that. Let's double check it. They all look different. Yeah, looks pretty good. Now there's nothing really I want here. Do I want stars? I don't even know if that's possible. Let's say I wanted the stars. Let's see what we could do there. It has a rating, regular, and a small 5.0. Let's go small. Let's see what that gives us. It's not giving us anything. There's no text behind it. It's a picture. We could try text excluding children. There's nothing there. An image URL, a URL, or an other attribute. We could do URL. It's undefined. Now let's scrap that. There's no text behind that we could scrape. So let's just exit out. Let's go with the three that we have here. And we're good there. So the next thing we need to figure out is our navigation, right? We want it to paginate. What I mean is I want it to go to the next page. So similar, we're going to try to find that last arrow, right? Because that's going to be the same. That's going to move it to page 2, and then 3, then 4, so on and so forth. So I'm going to hit the shift key, and it gives us a bunch. It gives us SALP button 10. Let's try that. All right, that one could work. That's an element ID. Let's try an element class. There's a JS pagination link. That gives us all of them. Not quite what we want. A JS pagination link next. That one looks good. I could tell because a purple box now engulfs the orange box. The pagination link, again, that's all of them. And the pagination link next, those aren't right. A tag, that's clearly not right. So we're down to 2. My guess is that there's just 2 ways of hitting the same result. One's an element ID, one's an element class. Let's try this one. Let's go for the pagination link next under the element class and confirm. Now, I'm not technical enough to understand the difference between the two, but if you are, please leave it in the comment box. I'd love to learn. Let's give it a try. Let's test it. Test navigation. All right, it's loading up. Let's see if we're on page 2. We are. Let's try it again. See if we go to page 3. We did. Okay. So we're good to go. Let's return back to page 1. And we're done here. Don't need any of these actions. We're not putting in any custom Java, nor do we know how. So we're going to save it. Let's call this ZocDoc. We can save it. Okay, and now we run it. So really simple here. It's picked up the first page, which is good, all 11 of them. We want to paginate, so we're going to do next page. Want it to wait 5 seconds. It's probably good. It did take a little bit of a time to load up. Want to scrape 10 pages. Now, is 5 seconds ample? I don't know. If we start seeing we have uneven amounts, so we're not getting all of it, we're going to adjust that. But we're going to start pagination. Now, it's going to show us as it paginates. You're going to see the total rows scraped go from 11 to 22 as it starts navigating to the next page. Should go up to 33. Now, if I move this, well, you'll see it's also reflected up here, 44. And we'll let it go one more just for good nature, 55. We're going to stop it and close it. Now, we're only seeing the original ones, but I could see here, total of 55. So we're good. I could download it or put it to a clipboard. I actually kind of like clipboard, but I'm going to download it just to show you guys now. The reason I like clipboard is I could go directly to a Google Sheet, which sometimes is a lot easier than parsing it to an Excel spreadsheet. But let's take a look at all 55 of the results we just got now. And it looks pretty good. This is a bit wonky, but it got the right. I'm assuming they're all primary care doctors. I might want to double check that. Got the address. And it's interesting how it broke up the address into kind of two lines, and then it seems like there's a third line we can't even see yet within 2 miles. So there's ways to clean this up, to separate it by commas. We're not going to go into that right now, but if you guys are interested, leave some comments. It's really simple Excel mechanics. If we wanted to clean that up and put that into its separate cell, but for all intents and purposes, we got what we wanted. Yeah, so that's basically that. I'm going to exit out of there and exit out of here. And is there a way to break this up into, there are some programs that will allow you to actually break this up into different columns. So for instance, the address, would it be possible to isolate just a piece of this? There isn't. Not until it adds regular expressions to it is that going to be possible. So that's all we could live with right now. If you're looking for ways to go into the individual profile and scrape some of this stuff, maybe a professional statement, practice names, affiliations, you might want to check out my other video on Web Scraper IO. However, that's a lot more technical, but I could create a video to kind of show you the in and outs of how to do that, and also allows regular expressions. So there's ways to separate those fields into address and zip and state and all those sort of things. Thank you guys for watching, and feel free to leave some comments, share my video, or do nothing. I don't care. Hope this helped out.